On the bench today we have the HP 4957 Protocol Analyser, and today I'm looking specifically at the software. As you can see, all of the hardware defects have been rectified. The CRT has been adjusted so that the menu items are now in the correct position. So all the hardware is running as it should be, and I've been playing around with the software, so I'm going to demonstrate key features. The key features that I need this to do in terms of software is to take backup copies of the two discs that I have that came with the 4957, and I want to be able to run a VT100 emulator. I don't have a need for a VT100 emulator at the moment, but if I do, this would be the ideal instrument. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to use. So what I'm going to demonstrate first is produce a backup copy. I have already produced backup copies, and so what I have here is an original HP floppy disk, which is the enhanced X.25 analysis, a master copy, and I've been able to format a floppy disk and make a duplicate copy, a backup copy of the original floppy disk. So let's just prove that. So here we have the original floppy disk, so I'll put that in, and what we'll do is we'll do a directory listing of that. So we're going to more and mass storage, and so you can see that this floppy disk has 3 files on it. Alright, we'll take this out and we'll put in the duplicate backup copy that I've produced. We'll load that in. We need to do a dir listing again, and you can see it has exactly the same content on it. So this floppy disk that I've got here was successfully formatted, and I was able to successfully do a disk copy to produce a backup. So I have seen online that some people have claimed that the early versions of the firmware won't format. Well, this is version A0000, so this is the very first version of firmware on this 4957, and it does format and it does do a disk copy. The other feature that I want to use is the VT100 emulator. So if we go to more here, and we want it to load an application, and the firmware has a VT100 8024 application in ROM. So let's load that. So and execute. So we'll select it, execute, and it comes up and says it's an 80 by 24 VT100 terminal emulator, which is exactly what I want. And we can set that up. We've got a range of different formats that it will cope with. There are different options around line of displays and error checking and all that sort of stuff. We don't need to worry about that for the moment. And so, and what we'll do now is we will look here, and you can see on the menu now has a VT100 option to choose from. Didn't before. Once we've loaded that into it, we can run that, we can execute it, and here's the screen. So if I go QWETRY, you can see, you probably can't see that on the screen, but it does actually work. I'll do caps, we'll do a couple of spaces and return, and I'll do capitals QWERTY. That may be easier to see on the display, but this works. The text is small, but then the whole 4957 is small and compact. If I do need a VT100 emulator in the future, I have one. So in conclusion, this 4957 had multiple hardware faults. It needed the CRT to be adjusted, and the two floppy disks that I've got, I wanted to be able to back them up, and I've been able to achieve that. So I've ended up with an operational piece of hardware This at the moment is a solution looking for a problem. One of the things that came with this 4957 is a TTL to RS232 level converter. Someone has made this so that they can convert TTL serial data to data levels that the 4957 will read and write. It comes with a circuit diagram. I don't know if I'll use it, but if I need it, it's there. One of the shortcomings I can see with the 4957 is that the floppy disk format is not PC compatible. If I save any data or read any data, then I can't just make a copy of that data and transfer it across to my PC. I haven't figured out a solution for that, but then I haven't looked very hard either. It does seem to be an obvious shortcoming. The floppy disk drive is not PC compatible either. The ribbon cable has the power going down it, so if you just plug in a standard PC floppy disk into the flat cable, you short out the power supplies, which is not a good thing. You do need an adapter. It probably needs a change to the firmware to be able to format and write to a standard PC compatible floppy disk. But in any case, this is the last time that you'll see this 4957 unless it develops a fault or if I actually find an application for it. Until then, it's going to be tucked away, and if I need a VT100 emulator in the future, I'll pull this out. Thanks for watching.